Amnesty for companies. Child sexual abuse case in Tobago being investigated. Harvest God presents Lambo Day and the Soca Warriors inch closer to the 2026 World Cup. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Friday, 13th June 2025. To our top story this evening. In a move to streamline corporate governance, the Cabinet yesterday approved a company amnesty covering both public and private enterprises. The measure grants a waiver of late filing penalties for post-incorporation documents, including annual returns and notices of change filed between January 31st and September 15th, 2025, and operates retroactively. Reporter Jewel Green-George tells us more.
I am happy to announce that the Cabinet has agreed and we have approved a company's amnesty for those companies that may have been affected with respect to the filing of various post-incorporation documents.
Member of Parliament for Barataria Sanwan, Minister of Legal Affairs Saddam Hussein, stated that 27,649 companies have not filed their annual returns for over 3 years. He also noted that the Registrar General had already struck off close to 47,000 companies from the registry for non-compliance. However, during the amnesty period, no further strike-offs will occur and delisted companies may apply for restoration.
For those companies that have been struck out due to non-compliance, so that they can in fact now be restored on the register. The Registrar General will not exercise the power of striking out of the registrar during the registry during this amnesty period.
This sweeping amnesty offers a strategic reset for compliant business operations, easing financial pressures while encouraging overdue filings. Those seeking guidance beyond digital filings may use the registrar's newly introduced over-the-counter system, ensuring all submissions are properly lodged in the company's registry. Jewel Green-George for Tobago Updates Television News.
Cabinet grants amnesty for non-compliant companies. So following a compliance sweep that resulted in 46,671 companies being struck off, the Cabinet approved a retroactive amnesty. Firms can now file outstanding documents and be restored between January 31st and September 15th, 2025. So no strike-offs will occur during this period. Jewel Green-George once again with the details.
Following a major compliance crackdown, 46,671 companies were struck off. In response, the new cabinet has approved a retroactive amnesty, allowing defaulting and already struck off firms to be restored if they file to be restored to the company register and file outstanding documents between January 31st and September 15, 2025. During this period, no further strike-offs will occur. The amnesty, which supports both private and state-owned companies, comes after concerns were raised by the Law Association. To ease compliance, the Registrar General will offer over-the-counter filing alongside the digital platform, requiring a valid company's register account.
The Law Association did write to me expressing their concern with respect to this matter, and they have also made a request with respect to the company's amnesty.
The digitization initiative aligns with ongoing efforts at the Registrar General's Department and Trinidad and Tobago's commitment to the Financial Action Task Force and the Global Forum on Transparency and Exchange of Information for Tax Purposes. There are over 10 state-owned companies that have been stricken off and/or are in breach of the Companies Act.
Is the National Marine and Maintenance Services Company Limited, a very critical company under the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. They were struck out on the 16th of January 2025. Tourism Trinidad Limited was struck out on the 10th of March 2025. So those two were struck out. These are the list of those companies that are now in breach of the law and have not filed their annual returns. Alutrint Limited, the Estate Management and Business Development Company Limited, known as EMBDC, ETEC, Export TT, Golan Grove Buku Limited, That was the company set up with respect to the Sandals project. Invest TT, National Commission for Self-Help Limited, National Helicopter Services Limited, National Information and Communication Technology Company Limited, National Infrastructure Development Company Limited, that's NITCO, the National Investment Fund Holding Company Limited, NIF, the Palo Seco Agricultural Enterprises Limited, PSAEL, the Rural Development Company of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, that's RDC, Minister Amin, the Couva Medical and Multi-Training Facility, CMMF Limited, Trinidad and Tobago Creative Industries Limited, Trinidad and Tobago Free Zones Company Limited, Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited, and the last one is TTT. There was the introduction and the digitization of key services at the Registrar General's Department, in particular the company's registry. And this was in line with some of our obligations with respect to FATF and the Global Forum.
For a listing of the struck-off companies, visit the Ministry of Legal Affairs website. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
To some other news now. Last evening, strong winds associated with the adverse weather alert caused the roof of a business place in Studley Park to be blown off, leaving the owner in urgent need of assistance. Well, thanks to the swift response by members of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment and Defence Force Reserves, temporary relief was provided. A tarpaulin was delivered and installed to cover the damaged roof, helping to prevent further losses and allowing the business to continue operations. Appreciation was also extended to members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service for their prompt response and much-needed support. A full damage assessment was scheduled for tomorrow, after which the relevant authorities will provide the necessary follow-up assistance. We'll take a short break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
This year, Bishop's High School Tobago celebrates its 100th anniversary. 100 years of shaping leaders, visionaries, and change makers. On Saturday, June 14th, 6 p.m. at Bishop's High School, the BHS Centennial Committee presents Men in Leadership, a live national forum with 4 distinguished Bishopians in a powerful dialogue discussing law, politics, religion, and national leadership. Moderated by award-winning journalist and Bishopian Ira Mathur. Join the conversation. Sign up for free at bishopstobago100.com or on Facebook. Watch it live, online. Don't miss it.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Tobago. This Labor Day, June 19th, API Music and Timeless Vibes Promotions kicks off Tobago Jazz Music and Golf Weekend 2025 with Plymouth Love, featuring Jazz at Dawn, 6:30 a.m. till noon, with Franz Job, Prince Unique, and much more. Then kicking it old school, 6 p.m. to midnight, featuring Oscar B, Andre J. Donowa, Joe Archer, and a very special guest, K. Alan Maloney, all at Plymouth Tennis Court Car Park. This entire celebration is in support of K's medical expenses. Just $200 per event, or experience both events for only $300. Tickets are available at Barcode, Nanandes Bar, and Island E-Tickets. Events supported by Frankie Tours, Bermuda's Biscuits, Tobago Updates, Street 91.9, Radio Toco, Stone Tower Studio, Eye for Design, and Click. Plymouth Love, one community, sunrise to sunset.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, Mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford at 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services has announced its continued intervention in a serious case of child sexual abuse currently being addressed by the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. The case, reported in March of this year, prompted the deployment of a multidisciplinary team that has been actively supporting the child victims and their mother. The family continues to receive psychological or psychosocial care, with the most recent engagement occurring earlier this month. The ministry also noted that counseling services have been extended to a sibling of the victims in collaboration with the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Additionally, food card assistance has been approved for the family and is expected to be activated in July. Reaffirming its zero-tolerance policy on all forms of child abuse, the ministry emphasized its commitment to working alongside the relevant agencies to ensure that affected children and families in Tobago and across the country receive the care, protection, and justice they deserve. Kervin Hosford, better known as Harvest God, presents Lambo Day 2025. This event will be held at the Lambo Recreational Grounds tomorrow. It aims to bring the community together ahead of its harvest celebrations on Sunday. More on this report from Kimberly Mitchell.
Kerwin Hosford, better known as Harvest God, explained how the Lambo Day initiative came about.
From since January, when I would have posted my harvest calendar and Harvest God calendar event, I started it. Do it before the harvest to make it a full weekend package, an individual from Lambo, any part of the world to keep this weekend to come home and enjoy celebrating community this afternoon and then the harvest Sunday.
It's expected to be a fun-filled day with plenty activities for the entire family.
It's a sports and family day. We have lots of flat races, football, track and field, a lot of novelty events. We have a skate guys there, there's roller skates, all for free. There's lots of stuff scheduled on that day.
The event is free and open to everyone.
There's bouncy castle, roller skates. If you guys have your skates at home, feel free to bring it. If not, skates would be provided for you at no cost. There are lots of track and field events, novelty events, free of charge. We just compete and there are some good prizes.
Harvest God encouraged citizens to play a role in driving positive change, highlighting his initiative to unite communities, inspire youth, and bring Lambo to life, urging everyone to come out this Saturday and be part of the event. I'm Kimberly Mitchell, reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
to football glory on June 6th and even closer on June 10th to seal a berth in the final qualifying round of CONCACAF's 2026 World Cup qualifiers. CF Montreal's Dante Seeley, son of former TT striker Scott Seeley, stole the limelight with a brace and with goals from Levi Garcia, Kevin Molino, Ajani Fortune and Nathaniel James, temporarily elevated Trinidad and Tobago to the summit with 7 points. Coach Dwight York's side delivered a solid performance in San Jose on June 10th. This outing follows the historic performances of Trinity's lone FIFA 2006 World Cup appearance. There, the Soca Warriors earned their first and only World Cup point, thanks largely to a heroic captain's performance from Tobagonian footballer Dwight York. Since then, they have not qualified for the finals. As York leads this new generation, he carries hopes of a nation eager for another crack at history. You're watching the Tobago Updates television news. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Centre has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up. Real bad girl get nasty. The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Welcome back. Former Minister of Finance, Kwam Imbert, previously stated that the new airport terminal at the A.N.R. Robinson International Airport in Crown Point was expected to open by July of this year. However, the government has not confirmed whether this timeline will be met. At the post-cabinet briefing held yesterday, Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Jolene John, was asked about the official opening. In response, she stated only the terminal will be opened soon, without providing any specific time frame.
And as you have heard my colleague say, the Prime Minister says stay in your lane, although he lies about flying in the sky. We, of course, there should be a, Airport Authority Board in place very soon. There's a shared responsibility. NITCO, who would have been the project managers, they fall under the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and then Minister Zakuru with the Airports Authority. So it will be very soon.
The minister criticized the previous administration, labeling them as irresponsible. Construction of the new terminal began in 2020, but progress was hindered by delays caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the state's acquisition of the land to facilitate the expansion. To date, Tobagonians are still awaiting an official announcement regarding the terminal's official opening for use. The Trinidad and Tobago Inter-Island Transportation Company has announced that the MV Cabo Star will be taken out for service for scheduled dry docking beginning Saturday, July 12, 2025. The maintenance period, part of the vessel's statutory requirements, is expected to last approximately 3 weeks, during which the TTIT will implement a series of contingency measures to maintain critical cargo transport between Trinidad and Tobago. To accommodate demand ahead of the vessel's absence, TTIT has scheduled 2 additional sailings for the Cabo Star, Friday, June 21st, departing Port of Spain at 1 p.m. and Scarborough at 10 p.m., Friday, July 5th, same departure times. Additionally, the Trinidad and Tobago Inter-Island Transportation Company will soon introduce a WhatsApp contact line to provide real-time updates to cargo users throughout the dry docking period. The company is urging all cargo clients to plan ahead and to take advantage of the extra sailings in June and July and to stay informed through official communication channels as the temporary arrangements take effect. To a bit of international news, a British man is the sole survivor of a devastating Air India plane crash that killed 241 others shortly after takeoff. On Wednesday, the aircraft, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, was en route to London Gatwick on flight when it reportedly encountered trouble shortly after becoming airborne. The plane crashed in a fiery explosion, leaving behind a trail of debris and horror in one of the year's deadliest aviation disasters. Miraculously, 1 passenger survived. Ramesh, a British national who was seated in 11A, is believed to have survived the initial impact and managed to escape the wreckage before it was engulfed in flames. His current condition has not been publicly disclosed. Air India has extended condolences to the families of those and pledged full cooperation with ongoing investigation. India's aviation authorities are leading the probe with support expected from Boeing and international aviation safety bodies. This tragedy has once again cast a spotlight on aircraft safety and the human stories behind such catastrophic events. The weather report is up next. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet here. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but the children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put that, me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people, them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
This year, Bishop's High School Tobago celebrates its 100th anniversary. 100 years of shaping leaders, visionaries, and change makers. On Saturday, June 14th, 6 p.m. at Bishop's High School, the BHS Centennial Committee presents Men in Leadership, a live national forum with 4 distinguished Bishopians in a powerful dialogue discussing law, politics, religion, and national leadership. Moderated by award-winning journalist and Bishopian Ira Mathur. Join the conversation. Sign up for free at bishopstobago100.com or on Facebook. Watch it live online. Don't miss it.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios, and Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Chopin Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
So this is what you can expect of the weather tonight into the weekend. Tonight, generally fair, hazy, and at times breezy. Despite the low chance of an odd shower, tonight's temperature drops to 25 degrees Celsius. For tomorrow, mainly dull, hazy, and breezy conditions, despite the low chance of 1 or 2 brisk isolated showers. Temperatures will reach a high of 31 degrees Celsius and a low of 26 degrees Celsius. On Sunday, generally sunny, hazy, and breezy conditions, despite the likelihood of a few passing showers. A mostly fair but hazy night is expected. Sunday's temperature will rise to 31 degrees Celsius and fall to 26 degrees Celsius at night. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. There's a recap of our headlines. Cabinet approves retroactive amnesty for companies. Child sexual abuse case in Tobago being investigated. Harvest God presents a Lambo Day, and the Soca Warriors inch closer to the 2026 World Cup. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards, thanking you so much for joining us and wishing you a great night.